יושב בשמיים מנחין אבל מיליארד דנם כן שיבחל יד גביר תוקן ננו לאדנו להנה שכננו חננו אדנו חננו קרס ונבוז רבה סובל נפשנו לאג שנה נמה בוז לגיוני. My dear friends, let's give some tzedakah on this Erev Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh 7, the month of giving the Torah. So how beautiful this would be that today would be the day that we receive the new Torah. I don't mean new Torah, but the new dimension of Torah, which will be taught by Moshiach. May this happen today, and this would be the most wonderful Shabbos that we can start, the new era. Yesterday I had mentioned about the passing of Reb Moshe Kotlarski. I think it would be very appropriate just to share one of the, who knows how many stories Reb Moshe had in his lifetime of shlichus to the Rebbe. Here is one of them which I think is fascinating. And this is what he writes. On one of his trips to South America, he met a wealthy Jewish individual who was a very prominent leader in the local Jewish community. And he shared with Reb Moshe that unfortunately his daughter lives in New York, got involved with some kind of a cult. So I promised I'll do everything I can to save her from that. And indeed, I was successful. I invited her to my house. She came in many times. And she left the cult, even to the point that shortly after she called me that she is engaged to an Israeli young man, a Jewish young man, and they decided to have a proper Jewish wedding. And for that, they're asking me I should officiate. So I told them for me to officiate, I need to meet with them. There's certain preparations for the wedding, such as learning about Jewish family purity law, how to lead the Jewish life. He says, no problem. We're ready for it. We want to hear it. While I was meeting with them, I found out some very interesting information about the family of the groom. It turned out his grandfather was a very prominent rabbi in Poland, in Warsaw. But unfortunately his father, who successfully escaped from the Warsaw ghetto after the Holocaust, became an all-consuming hater of Judaism and everything that comes along with it. The date of the wedding, unbeknown to them, was set, I shouldn't say, they knew the date of the wedding, which was on the 14th of Kislev. What was unknown to them, the importance of that day, that's actually the day when the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin got married. Custom has it that the wedding, the Shabbos before the wedding, the groom is being called up to the Torah, but in this case, he could not, the father would not hear of coming Shabbos to shul, so they settled they're going to go for Thursday. This, the father was willing to step into the synagogue. Then, on the morning of the wedding, I wrote a little note to the Rebbe saying that I'm officiating at this and this couple. And that's the story. These are the names and that's the story. So I immediately got a call from the Rebbe's secretary to come over because the Rebbe had answered on my notification about this particular wedding. And the Rebbe wrote the following, that the grandfather of the groom actually participated at the Rebbe's own wedding in Warsaw and actually gave the Rebbe a gift, a book, a sefer that he authored and he published. The Rebbe says, since by divine providence his wedding, their wedding is the same day as my wedding, I would suggest you keep that sefer, that holy book, under the chuppah when you officiate at their wedding. The Rebbe, in fact, pointed out exactly where the book in the library is, and indeed, I came to the chuppah with this book in hand. Before the wedding reception, the groom approached me, he says, and sadly explained that I should not expect any form of cooperation from his father during this ceremony. He's bluntly refusing to participate, even the smallest degree. I promised my father no pressure. And I, says Rabbi Kotlarski, said, don't worry about it. I will definitely not put any pressure on him. Then I was asked to say a few words to the guest. And that was just before the chuppah. So I shared some thought about the chuppah, and then I shared this story. I have a book here. And I told the story of the book. How the Rebbe gave it him today to participate at the wedding, because this is from the grandfather of the groom who participated at the Rebbe's wedding. And as we know, the neshamas, the souls of many generations come to the wedding, so this is a vehicle for the Zayde to participate. Suddenly, the father of the groom stood up and walked out. Then I went to look for him, and I found him standing in the vestibule, shaking and crying bitterly. I left him to his own. But then he returned to the chuppah. And the father said, please tell me, what do I need to do now?